IE area, sunny skies, highs in the lower 70s. And for the daytime in the Coachella Valley, sunshine will be in abundance for the afternoon, highs in the 70s. I'm forecaster Jimmy O'Neill for Smart Talk 1490 KMET.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. We're happy to have you here. And lots of stuff going on around the world. As always, the question of the day is, what are you going to do this weekend? And what are you going to do with the rest of those that you know, that you love, that you enjoy, and that you appreciate all throughout the weekend and on into next week? What are your plans? We want to know. And in social media, we love to see your comments. Don't forget to add us on Facebook at Aaron M. Sanchez or KMET 1490 AM. Also on Twitter, Aaron M. Sanchez, and also on Instagram, Aaron M. Sanchez. Also my good friend and always in the broadcast studio, Jesse Sanchez. You can find him at I am Jesse Sanchez. Jesse, what's going on in the world?
Oh, so many things are going on, but I'm trying to be positive right now.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to the weekend because a pretty interesting movie it just got released last night, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it has a pretty good cast. Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg, Antonio Banderas.
I want to see that.
You're probably thinking, what movie am I talking about, right?
Well, I kind of saw the trailer with Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland, and then I saw, I think, a trailer, and I said, what is that movie about anyway? All I see is cats or something like that. What is it?
Did you say cats?
Yeah, there's a scene with cats, yeah. It's called Uncharted, right?
Yes, it is called Uncharted. It's based on the video game on the Sony PlayStation.
Oh,
I think.
No wonder.
Yeah, just think, let's see, if Laura Croft was a younger male.
Okay.
So it's something similar. He's a young fortune hunter. So
Okay.
it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Okay. Well, I'm always looking for a good movie. Oh, I see the video game. Okay. All right. I get it then. Well, look, anything for an action film, I think is good. I love Mark Wahlberg. I think he's great. Their banter back and forth, I kind of didn't get. I'm not gonna lie, but I probably don't understand the story. Does that make sense? So,
The story in general of, I to be honest, I've really never played the game. I own them, but I've never played them, which I kind of feel bad.
Yeah.
But I know the surface story, so I don't know too much, so I'm going in blind right now.
That's okay. This is kind of the quick little fast snippet. Nathan Drake and his wisecracking partner, Victor Sully Sullivan, embark on a dangerous quest to find the greatest treasure never found, while also tracking clues that may lead to Nate's long-lost brother. So Nate is Tom Holland. Mark Wahlberg plays Victor Sullivan. So there you go. So you know what? I say good. Antonio Banderas I love as an actor. He looks really phenomenal in this movie. So I'm looking forward to that. And I guess we'll see what happens with this, right? It's getting interesting reviews. So we'll see what happens. I'm still waiting to see on the IMAX a movie. And Jesse, I know you've recommended in the past some movies, which again, as far as shows go, is there any other ones that you could say people should definitely go see?
I actually just finished the Peacemaker series on HBO Max.
Okay.
It is not for children. It is definitely not for children. But it has it's a pretty interesting show. There's like 8 or 9 episodes, and it talks about Peacemaker, who's a person who will kill anyone to make peace.
Okay.
Man, woman, or child.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. All right.
Yeah, no, so he's a funny superhero-ish. I don't even call him a superhero, but either way, he goes on this little adventure, and it's pretty bloody. So it's, like I said, it's not for children, but the cameos at the very end, it hit the spot for that yesterday.
Okay, okay. I will say this: if you haven't seen Moonfall, go see it. I think that's a good one to see in the IMAX. If you got kids, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say, Jesse.
Oh, I no, okay, so a lot of people are ragging on Moonfall.
Okay.
It's a disaster film. People don't understand that and be like, "Oh, the science isn't there." I'd be like, first off, if I wanted to watch a documentary, I'll watch a documentary. I'd be like, when I watch a film or a movie like this, I just want to be, you know, in that little fantasy
Don't take
world.
it literal.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a documentary. It's a disaster film. The moon's coming closer, blah blah blah. But it's meant for fun. But I love Moonfall though.
No, you know what? Look, I saw it. I didn't get to finish it because I had to go pick up a friend towards the end of it. But I thought, okay, this is a good way to think about the moon. It is fragile. And if it were to lose its orbit, could it happen where it comes closer and then crashes into us, right? I think that's the part that was scary of it all. I think the part that I think maybe people probably have a hard time with, which obviously, if you're a conspiracy theorist, is the far side of the moon inhabited? Do we already inhabit the moon? Is the moon inhabited in the middle of it? It doesn't have magma, so it doesn't rotate, which actually people think, wait, what? Because it's always showing us the one side of the moon, right? So we don't see the other side of the moon. Where some people go, well, yeah, it's flat. And I go, boy, you're dumb. But, it's obviously a sphere, but there you go. But it rotates around us, and it does do a lot of the things that people don't understand when it comes to like gravitational pull of tides, right? In fact, now I think about it, I had like a dream about the tides rising, and I just had this, I think last night or the day before, and tides can and do rise depending on the gravitational pull of the moon. So there's a lot of stuff that we sometimes take for granted, and sometimes, like for instance, I think the moon last night looked very close, right? But that's because it's in a close orbit of us, because it just kind of does that, right? It goes far, it goes near, it goes far, it goes near, and then if it's near the horizon of the Earth, it looks like super big, right? But Moonfall, I think, brings into question something that I think we all should at least ask, which is this: are we going to be safe in the event that it were to move too close to us, right? Some people know the conspiracy theory of Nibiru or Planet X, right? And some don't. But it's kind of known in the Egyptian writings that there's a planet which is very, very, well, it depends who you ask. But if you look at NASA and the website, Planet X, which was often just kind of touted as a thing, maybe, is now deemed real, real, real. Did you know that?
No, Nibiru. I haven't heard that in a while. um, it's been a while since I've heard someone call it Planet X, but no, I remember someone saying that it could be outside of our. Okay, I still consider Pluto a planet, so I'm one of those
Me
old people.
too. I'm like, what? At what size do
Here,
you get?
say Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, at what size do you not get it? Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, so apparently there was like the theories that there was a planet outside of that one that we can't see, that's in like such a weird orbit that comes near our planet like every 3,000 years or something, which I don't know, that seems kind of little outrageous to me, but whatever. I don't know science.
yeah. Well, and I'm looking for the information here because I looked it up a while back, and they call it different things. They called it Planet X, and there, depending on what article that you go to, you'll find different things about it. But in short, there are planets that are very dark, and they don't give off a lot of light. So when this was kind of discovered, some are like, "What is that exactly?" Right? And some people don't understand still. But the question is, does it exist? And the answer is yes. Okay, back to Pluto. Pluto is obviously, it's not a star. You know what I mean?
No,
So
it's considered a dwarf planet.
yeah, but it's still a planet. You know what I mean? That's why I kind of go like, okay, I kind of get you, but I kind of don't. But this is kind of a acceptance that NASA, as of last few months, I know I did some research on their NASA website, and I said, "Oh, okay," because they actually have this cool thing. It's like a tracky thing. And if you go to NASA, you'll be able to find it. Um, but they kind of allude to it. I can't find it right now. I don't know why. But if you go to NASA, you'll find all the stuff there, and you can kind of get a little smart, share it with your kids, share it with your family, and then you'll see all the information there. For yourself on how to be able to do the research. It looks like they redid their website as of I don't know when. It looks like it's pretty new, but there's a way to see where we are in the galaxy, and you can map it and plant yourself kind of in the middle, and then see the orbit of everything else. They have it for NASA audiences. Looks like they really did update it. But they had a page, and I looked at it, and I go, oh, there it is, Planet X, or Planet 10, depending on how you refer to it. So you have, of course, 9 planets, which is kind of what we've always known. But then they kind of said, no, Pluto isn't a planet. And then others go, well, it is a planet. So back and forth, back and forth, back and forth you go. But they say it's a dark planet, right? Whereas before it used to be just kind of like, is it a thing? Is it not a thing? I don't really know. Anyway, I can't find it right now. But there you go. So it was there as of last year. I know that much because we looked it up. But my point is this. Whatever you know, just remember, at least we're on a planet that lives, right? We're on a planet that survives, and we're on a planet that hopefully the moon never does that, right? I do know that we are looking at the rocket, which thankfully now SpaceX kind of said, dude, that's not us, right? We're not the ones that left it going, which I'm glad, because if Elon Musk was that guy, I'd be like, dude, I thought you were here to save the Earth, not throw a rocket into our own moon, right? Or let it continue to the moon.
It's not a SpaceX. Okay, so whose is it? Wait, no, there's only 2 countries it can only belong to. So
well, they're saying it's China's. I don't know if they're passing the buck or if they figured it out. I just know SpaceX was like, dude, that's not ours. So because it was a researcher that kind of saw it. And this is still going to happen. March 4th, okay? They're calling it space junk, but basically a rocket will impact the dark side of the moon is what they call it. Or they would say the other side of the moon. I don't know how would they say the dark side of the moon, because it's not dark, because when the sun's on the opposite side of it, it's pretty lit up. But whoever wrote this just didn't understand that. So, yeah, it's the other side of the moon. That's what they call it. But they're saying that Bill Gray, who's the researcher who projected the impact, noted on his Project Pluto website that John Giorgini, who's an engineer at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, had pointed out the SpaceX rocket, which it's not, in February 2015, had taken the $340 million Deep Space Climate Observatory into space, did not go particularly close to the moon, but they saw that it was in an orbit around, I think, both the Earth and or the moon. And they projected that, oh, wait, it's going to crash right into the moon, because they did that projection of orbit by March 4th. So, again, that's the type of thing that I don't want to hear. And I think, okay, it's a rocket going into the moon. The moon is pretty massive. The rocket in size is pretty small, I hope. And hopefully it just doesn't explode, right? That's what I'm kind of hoping for. Does that make sense? I don't want an explosion to happen on the moon.
No, I think it just said it was just going to be like a crash. I don't think there was any fuel or anything within the rocket.
Yeah.
So it's just like a giant ton or something of trash just hitting the far side of the moon, which, let's be real, if there were aliens on that side, I'd be like, what the heck?
Right. What is that coming at us? Darn it.
Right.
Yeah. So, we've had debris on this Earth. Actually, there's an interesting, you might want to look it up too. It happened in Mexico as well. They looked up and there was debris, kind of like, how do I say it? Some called it, I showed my mom. It was interesting. It was like, think what looks like meteorites going across the sky, but I don't know how to explain it. They don't know if it was like, do you remember when the spaceship exploded and then we saw the debris in the sky? Did you see that? It went over I know because I was in Arizona. I was in Phoenix at the time. And it happened, I want to say, man, let me think here. More than 15 years ago. And it was an explosion of, I can't remember which spaceship or shuttle. But it was the one that just exploded, and then the astronauts were all over the place. Do you remember that? It was on reentry, I think.
Uh, are you talking about the explosion in the 80s?
Not that one. That was the one up to with the
Yeah.
teacher. The other one was, I want to say,
There was another one? Oh my God, I did.
yeah. I can't remember it right off the hand. Um, but I know what caused it only because I know one of the engineers that worked for NASA, and he turned in his information, and it was something on the uh, that fell off. It looked like styrofoam, but it damaged the hull. And when it damaged the hull, it actually created a problem for the exterior of the shuttle. And on re-entry, it created a problem for them to re-enter. So there was a huge boom. And then on its re-entry, it kind of spread everywhere. I think that was it. I don't remember what it was called, though. You're thinking of the Space Shuttle Challenger. That was in
Talking about the
86.
Space Shuttle Columbia?
There you go. That's it. The Columbia.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at pictures right now. Oh my God, I did not know about this. This is horrifying. No, I'm still traumatized about the other one, the Challenger.
Yeah, that happened. Oh, there it is. 2003. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, February 1st, 2003, it disintegrated as it re-entered our atmosphere, right? And I knew this guy who would like kind of submit his info, and he researched it, and some didn't believe him at first. But then he said, well, based on the Earth's gravitational pull, a certain type of debris, if it falls off and it damages the hull, could be the responsibility of why it got hurt in the first place. The Columbia disaster was so big that I remember seeing kind of like smoke from the air, and I was like, "What was that?" And I was in again Arizona at the time. I don't remember what states it went over, but on its re-entry, it just went everywhere. And they actually were able to kind of bring it back. Here's a picture of kind of how they map it, and I'll show you here kind of what that is there. Um, Columbia disaster space shuttle debris are seen in a hangar at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida during Accident Investigation 2003. More than 82,000 pieces of debris from the shuttle's disaster, which killed 7 astronauts, were recovered. And that was a sad thing. 7 astronauts were basically on the reentry killed. You know what I mean? And that's the sad part, right? That is the thing that people kind of forget when they think of astronauts going up into space, and how sometimes either exiting from our planet and or re-entering can be very, very disastrous. What do you think of there, Jesse?
How did I forget about this? I don't remember this.
Yeah, I remember it just because it was so prevalent at the time. And so an investigation board determined, and this is where I knew my friend, and he actually came from Alabama. He came here to visit, and he was actually it was interesting. He loved his camera. He had a really good Nikon camera, and he was here visiting friends. And I said to him something. I don't remember what it was. He's like, "Would you like to go see?" And it was the weirdest thing, Jesse. I kid you not. But he's like, "Would you like to go see the monarch butterfly?" And I'm like, "All right, that sounds interesting." So we took a drive up the coast, and there is an area where the monarch butterfly actually migrates. And if you ever want to take like a friend or yourself or a date or just a trusted friend, you can go up north. Now he's a photographer, but he would also do stuff with NASA and JPL, right? So he loved his camera. He was like kind of figuring out how the camera worked. And there were so many monarch butterflies. But once he told me finally what he was a part of, he kind of didn't tell me at the beginning, but his information got to the engineers, and this is a fact. It says here, an investigation board determined that a large piece of foam fell from the shuttle's external tank, breached the spacecraft wing. The problem with foam had been known for years, and NASA came under intense scrutiny in Congress and in the media for allowing the situation to continue. But what they're not saying here is this. Although it looked like foam, he was able to project that because of the takeoff and the G's that are forced upon it, any debris, even though it looks like foam, could have more gravitational pull to it and damage the hull. And that's what happened. And that's why, although they kind of scoffed at it for actually days, they did the science of it. They said, oh, shoot. Because whenever they take off, they have the exterior cameras looking at the hull. Does that make sense? Then you see all that stuff kind of fall off. So they investigated a foam strike that took place during launch. About 82 seconds after Columbia left the ground, a piece of foam fell from a bipod ramp that was part of a structure that attached the external tank to the shuttle. Video from the launch appeared to show the foam striking the left wing. It was later found that a hole in the left wing allowed atmospheric gases to bleed into the shuttle as it went through its fiery re-entry, leading to the loss of the sensors and eventually Columbia itself. So basically, it breached the hull. That's why you got to be very careful with any little thing or any little debris that hits the hull. Because on re-entry, it heats up. And if it heats up and there's a breach, that's how it ended up exploding. It sounds very like, what does foam do to a very metal exterior, right? But that was the science of it, and that's what this engineer, who again lives in Alabama, was able to kind of go, no, it's this. So I remember him messaging me. He goes, they actually took my info and they're going to report on it. I was like, whoa, that's awesome for you. And actually, he and I lost touch after that. I'm not going to lie. But I just remember thinking, wow, like, what is the science of that? You know? And I was like, can you get me over into NASA? Like, I've always wanted to do a real cool tour. Like, if you know the guys there, hook me up, you know? But that was a sad thing, and that's a sad exploration of space that happens, and those families will always remember that. And yeah, sometimes there's things that we just don't remember, huh, Jesse? We just have to go, all right, I you know what I mean?
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That is a horrific image.
Yeah.
It looks like, if you just look at it, it's just a simple image, but if you just think about it, it's a horrific image, because it's just of a space shuttle that was once there that is now literally in 1,000 or more pieces.
Yeah, exactly. So, as I say, appreciate those that come back, stay alive, and then appreciate NASA that helps them stay alive, because it's that science that says, okay, how do we do it better the next time? All right, people, we've got to take a quick little break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Ruth didn't know she was leaving for good. She knew he would kill her. Could she save herself? Did she feel she was worth saving? How could she best protect her children? To love, honor, and betray, Ruth Tunnicliffe shares her true tale. From submissive to survivor, then thriver. Now living a proud, purposeful life as an optimistic, inspiring, peaceful warrior. Can a person heal from feeling the guilt of a decision altering many lives? Weighted by living grief, moving through lessons learned, self-discovery, and land in self-love? Can someone who's been abused in every way move to self-trust, confidence, and arrive at living in peace? To love, honor, and betray, a sincere, honest letter. To herself and her adult children, Ruth Tunnicliffe shares her story so that others may also find the inspiring, peaceful warrior within. Amazon worldwide, Barnes & Noble, RuthTunnicliffe.com.
Mattress Brothers Overstock Mattress Sale. Just $3.99 for a foam-encased queen pillow top set. $3.99. Check out Mattress Brothers $3.99 Overstock Sale. Mattress Brothers at 120 West Redlands Boulevard in Redlands. The $3.99 Overstock Sale is on now. $3.99 for a foam-encased queen pillow top set. Mattress Brothers also has locations in Hemet, Riverside, and Palm Desert. The $3.99 queen pillow top sale on now.
Here's to your health with Joshua Lane. Ideas you can use to be healthy and stay healthy. The current thinking about beauty, fitness, and longevity. Every Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Wellness talk you can use. Here's to your health with Joshua Lane on KMET, naturally.
Standard time is here. That means shorter days and cooler nights that make you want to stay inside. Don't get caught in the cold. Franklin Mechanical Systems can do a preventative maintenance check on your heating unit to get it working right. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems, for all your residential and commercial heating and air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 951-845-1000. That's 951-845-1000, and stay warm today.
The staff and families at Custom Care Solutions caregivers take this time out to recognize and salute the Palm Desert men and women in uniform, standing tall for our political and economic freedoms around the world. Let's always remember them in our thoughts and prayers. Their efforts abroad and our support have kept America strong. That message was courtesy of your good friends at Custom Care Solutions caregivers, 42201 Beacon Hill in Palm Desert. They're always working to keep our community moving in a positive direction.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Let's go to some of your comments here. Let's see. We've got Paul Cassidy tuning in. Thank you for doing that. Viviana tuning in. Stephanie Reed as saying, hello, happy editing this glorious snowy cold for this awesomeness busy day ahead for today. I'm still finding out people were kind of like weird about the whole snow was in Pasadena, and they're like, where else was the snow at, right? Why was it only in Pasadena? But anyway, there you go. Algenia Kirsten says good morning. Let's see, Rosalie Huerta says happy Friday. Mark Blevin says morning. Let's see, Algenia says yes, it's a happy Friday, I got today off. Yes. All right, cool. George Zamora tuning in. We appreciate you. Thank you. David Gonzalez tuning in. Awesome. Mark says, wasn't Pluto supposed to be Planet X? Actually, no. Pluto was 9, and then they kind of said, okay, whatever. And then Planet X, or Planet 10, was many estimate a dark planet, a very hard to see planet because it's very just more dark than light. Does that make sense? So it's kind of hard to see using certain things, but I'm pretty sure the telescope will be able to see that and so much more of our solar system. You know what I'm talking about, Jesse?
Yeah, you're talking about the James Webb.
Yeah, that thing's going to see so many cool things. It's really cool. And I think some scientists and even students and those that go to college are able to kind of tap into it and kind of like take some of the images and then, but you have to get on the list. So it's kind of cool. Algenia Kirsten says, talk about a dream. I dream about the California Bay was full of shrimps. Go fish the marina is fully, probably the waves mostly has pushed them to the Bay Area. Or they probably get pushed to the Bay Area. She goes, I'll do my research. That needs to be correct. It's Russia or China probably. I guess she's talking about the rocket that is going to crash into the moon, which I go. Oh boy. Mark actually was right. Yep, Colombia. And yes, Algenia, she says, did you hear about the bird fall dead out of the sky yesterday? I don't know the state. My son was telling me about that last night. And that happened a couple places, evidently, unless there's a new one. But Jesse researched it. There was one on European soil, I believe. And then there was one in Mexico that was caught on camera. And I don't know if there's more. I wouldn't doubt it. Again, we've got bird flu here. And if they're kind of crashing to the earth and dying, I would say don't pick one up, wrap it up, or let the experts do it, because that's how basically viruses get spread. So, because birds do have viruses. And sometimes they get it from others as well, just so you know. Rosalie says, Pacific Grove, California. It's beautiful to see all these those monarchs. Oh, so you know where it's at? Yes. Okay, good. Yeah, that makes sense. It's up the coast, up PCH. And it really is fun to see them because they kind of inhabit the trees. And so it looks like you go, is the tree breathing? It's not the tree. It's a bunch of monarchs. And basically, it's mating season. That's why they go there. And they actually make a very interesting sound. It's kind of weird. But it looks beautiful, by the way. If you take your camera and you just take pictures of the monarchs, you're like, wow. And they're all over. And it's in a protected area that you kind of just walk down a path. And it's right next to the beach. It's really, really, really neat. It says, I'm possibly moving back to the area in June or July. Yay, me. She says, yeah, I believe they're there between October through February. Yeah, that makes sense. It's definitely in the fall season. Renee is tuning in as well. Thank you for tuning in. All right. So I know we brought some awareness to some people. They're like, what? The Challenger, they knew that. And then the Columbia, it's like, oh, yeah, that's right. But like I say, you got to be aware of those that put themselves in harm's way all the time, right? Now, there is something that we're looking at, and I was really hoping it wouldn't go to this level. And sometimes there are people that want war no matter what. And this is a thing that I think we need to look up over the weekend and just be aware of, Jesse. And
Happen? Please don't tell me something happened.
well, it's going next level, and that's not a good thing. I was hoping. Remember how we reported how Russia, Ukraine, U.S., NATO, all of it was kind of a thing that was being watched kind of closely?
Yeah.
All right. Well, the U.S. is going to have a very interesting statement by 4 o'clock this afternoon, according to this info, from President Biden. Okay. Now, what's he going to say? I don't know, except that they're saying he's probably going to say the threat is now very high. And in other words, it escalated. Okay. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, which was yesterday, made urgent remarks to the UN Security Council, challenging Moscow to commit to no invasion, or basically challenging Russia, please don't invade the Ukraine, right? More than 150,000 Russian troops are estimated to be massed near Ukraine's borders. Now, I will say this. There is news earlier this week that Russia was pulling back. A little bit, kind of as a good faith measure. So, having said that, they've kind of still been on very much like high alert. Are they going to invade the Ukraine? And the question now is, well, what's going to happen next? So at 4 o'clock today, I don't know if that's East Coast time or West Coast time. It doesn't really say that. It says he will give an update that's called, President Joe Biden, on continued efforts to pursue deterrence and diplomacy in Russia's buildup of military troops on the border of Ukraine. The remarks will follow a phone call he's holding with transatlantic leaders, which is scheduled for 2:30. Again, I think this might be East Coast time. That would make more sense. Earlier Friday, which is today, Russian President Vladimir Putin dismissed U.S. claims Russia was preparing to invade Ukraine within days and reiterated his demand that the Ukrainian government engage in direct talks with Russia-backed separatists. Well, the situation is this. The separatists kind of went next level according to this, and that's the question of the day. Are they pushing it in a bad way towards a situation that Russia's not going to be able to back down from? Now, I'm not saying Russia is the good guy in this. I'm not saying that. But they were, at least on the forefront, having talks about negotiation and saying, look, we're just going to pull back some of our troops. We're good with that. There you go. But the question of the day is, will they go further than that? I do not know. So people are watching this very closely. And I've said this for the last few weeks. I said, watch Russia, Ukraine, U.S., NATO. What happens next will depend on whether we're at World War III or whether we're not at World War III in the next few weeks. All right, I've been saying that for the last week and a half. But the question is, will it go to that level? I don't know. The latest headline, Russia-backed separatists announced mass evacuations. And that's kind of the question that I have of who are these separatists, right? So according to this, Russian President Vladimir Putin said today that the situation in eastern Ukraine is escalating. That's not good. Amid fears that they're seeking a pretext to attack their Soviet neighbor. Putin said at a joint press conference, unfortunately, right now we are seeing, on the contrary, an escalation of the Donbas situation. Putin reiterated Russia's demand that the Ukrainian government engage in direct talks with the Russia-backed separatists in Donbas, or Donbas, a breakaway region of southeastern Ukraine. He said, quote, all Kyiv has to do is sit down, that makes no sense, at the negotiating table with Donbas representatives and agree on the political, military, economic, and humanitarian measures to end the conflict. The sooner it happens, the better. Now, I will say this. It was because of Russia that they got here. It wasn't that Ukraine was like, okay, we're going to just create problems for you guys. This is the same area that I said they were training civilian women, Jesse, to go to war, hold a gun, and they were training them on the weekend because they don't have enough military support there, which is why they reached out to the U.S. and to other nations to say, hey, can you protect us? Because we think they're going to invade, because they pulled all of their military strength right next to Ukraine, right? So obviously it's been this very like, are we going to war? Are we not? Because the people of Ukraine do not want to go to war. Nobody wants to go to war with Russia, all right? You've got a nuclear war giant on the border of an area that they really do have no business being at. That's 100%, all right? The fact that they're on the border like that, that's Russia's fault, 100%. Now, do I feel maybe they kind of went a little too far in order to test the U.S. and test other countries? I feel yes. I feel it happened the moment everybody pulled out of Afghanistan. Because like I said, it made the U.S. look weak. So did they advance because of that? I feel the answer is yes. I think they took advantage of a situation that they shouldn't have. And now everybody's at kind of a place where they're like, what are we going to do next? But it's definitely something to watch in the next coming days. I know a lot of people are kind of like, what? Mark says, praying for Ukraine. Now, here's the situation. The U.S. is always ready for war. But should we be ready for war right now? And I believe the answer is, well, that depends on who wants the war. Sometimes war is going to happen regardless, right? You can't always stop war from happening. Now, I would say, please stop the war from happening, because we're already dying in record numbers because of the pandemic. Now, if you want to go to 100 years in the past, well, we had World War I before the pandemic. In this situation, we had the pandemic, now the war, if this continues this way. It's not the time to have war. It's the time, if anything, let's get ahead of 1, 2, 3, and 4, and whatever else is coming down the line. We know about that other one, I think, coming out from France. We're kind of in a war. We're kind of in a, how do I say it? We're kind of in a war of our own. It's already a world war, but it's against a virus, right? Why do we need to put people in harm's way on top of it, is my question. Because when you bring these two big countries, into this situation, the whole world ends up back in one of two situations. One, Russia will be backed up by a certain few very close allies, or on the other side, well, Ukraine has a lot of support military through other borders or other places like the U.S. and others that will start to take place there, and all of a sudden kind of go to war. Does that make sense, Jesse?
It does. I mean, it's so complicated. Like if I'm trying to, like, I don't want no war at all, but like if you're seeing it from Russia's point of view, it's kind of like having Mexico in talk with China, and then China, moving some military to Mexico. It's all like, we don't want it that close. So it's kind of like the similar situation, right? If Ukraine joins NATO, it's kind of like, we got the West here trying to pull up on our borders.
Yeah, I would put it like this. If Canada wanted to go to war against us, right, would we ask for Mexico's help, or would we ask...
Canada?
Huh?
Canada?
Well, no, we wouldn't ask for Canada's help because Canada's the one trying to hurt us, right? So let's say we say, okay, can you send us some of your supplies from, I don't know, who's on our good side? All right, Europe. Let's say we say Europe. Can you send some our way? Would we be ready for that type of border conflict, right? Which is basically what Russia is to Ukraine. They're right on the border, all right? So think northeastern of Ukraine, think southwestern, that's where Ukraine's at, okay? Now, the other countries surrounding, on the east side, we talk about Russia and Kazakhstan. That's on the southeast of Russia, okay? And they kind of already advanced there, but they were asked to by the ruler there, right? So the question is, what's going to happen next? Is Russia going to just kind of advance into all surrounding territories? Do they need to? Do they want to? And then who's going to back the other ones based on certain agreements, which is where NATO comes in, All right. I know a lot of people don't understand NATO, and they go, well, what is NATO? But Russia doesn't like NATO, okay? And it's an association basically of a good amount of countries that say, look, we're going to support each other. If you keep it very basic like that, then you'll understand a good portion of it. But the reality is, should we go to war right now? And the answer is obviously a no. Right now, Russia is already suffering from the hugest cold that it ever has. And Ukraine is right there with them. So if they do go to war, everybody's freezing their butts off. Right? You don't want missiles flying and tanks going, and then everybody like going, it's freezing cold out here. Why are we at war again? You're like, what is the purpose? And I think if you go to that, it's like, can we just back down? Because what really is the purpose at the end of the day? Who said, he said, who said, he said, who said, he said. Get on Zoom. Let's figure it out. It's as quick as that. Right? Like, it's not the time to invade.
My thing is, I'm tired of these leaders sending their people to war when, honestly, real leaders should fight their own fights. You know what I'm saying? I want to see leaders head-to-head and fight.
Like in a fencing match or something? Like there's Putin, there's Biden. Okay, guys.
Just like, I want to see the general, the person in charge on the field of battle.
I mean, get that.
Old school. It's just like, I don't want some fat old person trying to command people and he's never experienced war or the tragedy and the death that occurs. He's just sending people off to war.
I 100% understand that. I 100% get it. It's like, if you're going to send your men out there, you should be on the front line, right? And that's what kings did of old. Remember when they were on horses and on chariots? It was always the king that kind of went far back. You're like, okay, that's the bad guy. He knows his front line are going to die. He wouldn't put himself in harm's way, and there you go, right?
But at least he's there on the field of battle.
At least he is. That's true. That's very true. And some that would stay in their own area and then send them out, you'd be like, wow, that's even worse, right? Yeah, I'll give you that one. But that's the question of the day. Do we need to go to war? The answer is, well, that depends on who goes to war first. In other words, whoever strikes first, that's going to be the telltale symbol of whatever we see happen. I hope it doesn't go that way, and I hope we don't have war within the next 3 weeks. I think it's kind of escalating, but I think they can de-escalate it if they just say, hey, can we talk a little bit further? What is it you guys want again? Because all this he said, she said, he said, she said, he said, she said should be, look, we're not ahead of coronavirus. If you guys want our help to be able to get ahead of it, which you're going to need, you already have OM1 and 2, at least there in Russia, you're going to need good supplies to your people to keep them safe. Period, end of story. Why don't we talk about that, keep people safe, and let's just kind of back down on the whole invasion thing, because it's a little too much. You know what I mean? It's just not where we need to go right now. We don't need nuclear war. We don't need nuclear fallout. We don't need nuclear nations going at it with one another. We just don't need that. Nobody needs that. And everybody knows that. Once they hear that, they go, okay, yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick little break. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
KMET AM 1490 presents Cal State San Bernardino basketball. This Thursday night, February 17th at 7:30, the Coyotes meet Sonoma State in a CCAA conference game. Live from Casulas Arena in San Bernardino. I'm Mitch McClellan. Join me as the Coyotes meet the Seawolves. Coyote basketball broadcasts are brought to you by Dignity Health, Hatfield Buick GMC, Raising Cane's, Penny Law, and the Hyatt Place Hotel, Ontario Mills. That's Cal State San Bernardino basketball action live from San Bernardino this Thursday night at 7:30 on your exclusive radio home for Coyote basketball, KMET AM 1490. KMET AM 1490 presents Cal State San Bernardino basketball. This Saturday night, February 19th at 7:30, the Coyotes meet Humboldt State in a CCAA conference game. Live from Casulas Arena in San Bernardino. I'm Mitch McClellan. Join me as the Coyotes meet the Lumberjacks. Cal State San Bernardino basketball broadcasts are brought to you by Dignity Health, Hatfield Buick GMC, Raising Cane, Penny Law, and the Hyatt Place Hotel, Ontario Mills. That's Cal State San Bernardino basketball action live from San Bernardino this Saturday night at 7:30 on your exclusive radio home for Coyote basketball, KMET AM 1490.
The Fat Greek in Yucaipa, where you can get authentic, delicious, true Greek food. Authentic gyros, Greek salads, pitas, falafel, hamburgers, burritos, and oh yes, baklava. The Fat Greek has a large selection of wines, ice-cold domestic, and imported Greek beers. Come on down to the Fat Greek located on Yucaipa Boulevard in the city of Yucaipa. Open 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. The Fat Greek has delivery, drive-through, sit-down, and a catering service. So bring in a family or give Nicholas and Christopher a call at 909-797-6018. Eat Greek, live long. Remember, if you want authentic Greek food, it's the Fat Greek in Yucaipa.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM, and we appreciate each and every one of you for spending time with us. We also are looking at something that's kind of coming up around the corner for a lot of people, and a lot of people are very concerned about this. So a lot of people are going, what do I do next? And the question really is there a place where we all can get information? And it's this. With COVID, what's going to happen with people paying their rent? Or back rent, or honestly, even mortgages are going to kind of come full circle. And the question of the day is, with so many different little programs out there, which way do you go for your family, right? So if you type in rental assistance on Google, and then you type in COVID, some people have taken advantage of this and some people have not, okay? But now it's kind of coming to a point where people go, what do I do next, right? And I saw this because I was looking at counties, and some counties work differently than other counties. Some have assistance in different ways. So the question of the day is, what do we all do, right? And that's the biggest question right now. So I did find a website, and so I'm going to throw this out there for you guys that might need it. And it's housing.ca.gov. Okay, it's a very quick one. There's so many different ones out there. I'm just going to throw up a graphic that they have on their Twitter account. And if you want to follow them on Twitter, it's Housing is Key. Okay, and on the website, they have a bunch of information. It says, are you at risk of eviction? Eligible applicants who have applied to the program may be protected from eviction. And then it says, apply now. HousingIsKey.com or call 833-430-2122. All right, so there's the information right there. HousingIsKey.com, 833-430-2122. Because I feel a lot of people are kind of either being strong-armed or kind of being pushed in a way that they feel they don't have an option, right? And if you can pay, there is a minimum that you should be paying, which is 25% of the rent, and then there's ability to be able to pay the rest off due to certain programs I feel that are already here and even may be coming out in the next few weeks. So be aware of the different programs and then understand they're all different. But if you understand they're all different, then you'll understand which one you should apply for. That way you get the necessary funding to be able to help your situation. Does that make sense, Jesse?
It does. That's like, I was wondering, it's just like with the, what was it? It's called a moratorium.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, if you don't pay your rent, it just builds and builds and builds. And then once the moratorium over, don't you just have to pay it? Then you're in even bigger debt.
Well, that's what the moratorium did. It actually put it on kind of a, you cannot evict up until this time, right? But it actually expired already. So certain landlords are taking advantage of that, and they're making people move out. But you have to go through the legal process to evict. So there's a whole thing that you have to do. And technically, even though you say evict, it doesn't mean you have to be evicted. It usually takes 3 to 4 months if you go to court and you say, hey, I cannot make it because of this or that. So due to COVID, there are a lot of programs out there, but they're all very confusing. Because I know we've already kind of seen a few different websites and a few different places that we go, where's the relief at again? Because they keep announcing it, but they don't really say, hey, this is where it's at. So this is one of probably 3 different ones I'll probably share in the next couple of weeks, because it's almost like California said, oh, we forgot. Because they really didn't give a full solution, and we still have COVID here. Businesses are drying up. People have no other recourse, and they kind of made a moratorium for the reason that they knew they had to shut down businesses, they had to shut down people, they had to shut everybody down. So technically, we did it not just because of COVID, but because, well, government made us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. It's just complicated.
Yeah. So with that, the states, all independent of each other, have a program, but then there was a federal thing. I'm not sure if that's still a thing. And so people are a little confused all over the place. Okay. So if you go to housing.ca.gov, you'll find information there, and then you can kind of research it, and then you can kind of figure out what to do. Because I know some people feel, oh no, my landlord has my best interests at hand. But I will say, if you do the research, some of them don't, by the way. I've been approached by one that didn't. They wanted us to sign so that it was totally illegal. But if you look it up, here it is. You have rights, okay? And if you pay at minimum 25%, they, in essence, cannot evict you, okay? And there's the website that you can see right there. Applications still being accepted. Apply today to reduce your risk of eviction, all right? It says, need help with unpaid rent? And it says both renters and landlords can apply for assistance. And a lot of landlords have applied for assistance, which is why some have not said anything to the people. But sometimes they double dip. So that's a thing. And I guarantee that'll be found out probably the next year and a half. But for now, just be aware of it. There you go. There's information. There's going to be shysters out there that say apply here, give your information here. But this one at least is by housing.ca.gov. That's where you find it. And there you go. All right, we're out of time, people. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. Live it well. Bye-bye, Jesse. All right, for the rest of you tuning in, I want to say a big thank you. By the way, let's see how Genius says the best tool for human is to first listen. Listen is the key. Listen to each other so as to understand first, not assume another person or nation's intentions. Yes, that's what they need to be and do more of. Rosalie Huerta says, I agree. Instead of sending soldiers to fight, they should put the rulers in a boxing ring. When winner takes all, why kill everyone else? You know what? I'm not going to lie. I love that Jesse said that because it's so true. It's like, you know what? Put your money where your mouth is, right? Rosalie says, and if you don't want shady relatives or friends living with forever, don't allow them to stay over more than a week, and do not let them use your address for their mail. You know, it's funny that you say that. I know someone who does that, and he's done it ever since, like it's weird. And you kind of go, what are you hiding from yourself or whatever? Or what are you hiding from, right? And it says, because guess what? They're not tenants, and you will have to go through your eviction process too. Yeah, exactly. But I do want to give this information out because there's going to be a lot of more informations on this. Some have taken advantages ahead of time. Some have taken advantages not yet, and they will in the next couple of weeks because I think there's going to be things kind of saying, okay, have you done this? Have you done that? Have you done this? Have you done that? Now, if the governor does the right thing, he'll extend the moratorium because it's going to create a lot of havoc with a lot of people financially because it's difficult to pay down a year and a half of rent when in reality we went on lockdown because we were told to go on lockdown, which is the reason a lot of businesses are suffering, right? There's some businesses that are completely gone. You drive down the street and you see businesses shuttered. You see businesses gone. You see everybody going, what the heck? And if they don't address this nationally, you have so many renters, so many people going, how do I ever pay this ever? So you have to make arrangements with the right ones and also say, hey, did you collect, by the way? Because if they collected and you're paying it down, then the question of the day is, are they double dipping? Which they're not supposed to. They're supposed to get their money from government and then say, hey, we give you, honestly, don't worry about it. Because if they double dip by getting part of these, whatever you want to call them, government funded programs, and you pay them, well, now they're making double the money, which is not the right way to go. Does that make sense? Because some are covering the costs, and they're doing some by taking advantage of these programs because landlords can apply. All right. And if you have questions, you could call 833-430-2122. So I'm going to throw this up here and kind of do this with you guys so you can kind of see what you would go through just in case, right? So here it is. Housing is key. Housing.ca.gov. Again, this is where you'll find it, okay? So it says, already apply, check the status of a submitted application, or return to an application you've started but not completed yet, okay? So I'm going to go here, apply now, okay? So when you bring this up, it takes you to a portal. And it says, find out which program serves your neighborhood. Okay, so this is kind of important to know because every single neighborhood is different. All right, so it says option A, option B. All right, so you kind of have to find your area. And then you go, okay, it says, please enter the address you're applying for rental assistance in the search box above. If more than one result is listed, make sure to select the correct city. So I'm going to type in Monterey Park, okay? And that's where I live, right? So that's kind of why I'm putting that in. So we're in a green area, okay? I didn't know that, but there you go. That's how they block it up. It says link to program and application. So here I go here, click on view, and now it takes me to, are you a landlord or a tenant? So I'm actually going to see something. I want to see something on landlords, okay? Because a lot of landlords are stressing out their tenants, not knowing they could apply for it as well. So I'm going to just say I'm a landlord, okay? I'm going to click on that. Then it says, are you a landlord who has one or more eligible tenants who owe you back rent from April 1st, 2020 to present? I'm going to say yes. Okay, so I'm going to click on that. It says, you qualify for the rent relief program. Please proceed to the application. What? No. Yeah. Good to know, renters and or landlords. So you have the ability to apply if you are a landlord. Okay, and it says here, it takes me to the neighborly software. It says new users must first register for their account before signing into the portal. So basically you have to give all your info here. They have it in Korean and other languages as well. Chinese, I think, is right there, and Spanish right there. So you sign in or register. So here's your register, right, if you're a landlord, and then you can fill out the information there, okay? So yeah, just so you know, landlords can apply for this, and some do. That's why some landlords are very heavy on evicting you, and then others are just not, but they want the money anyway. So they kind of strong-arm you. I know because I've been strong-armed a few times. I'm like, all right, you want me to sign an illegal paper? Got it. Because the moratorium wasn't done, and there was nothing that the paper said that was technically right. They're like, you have so many days to move out, or blah. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense because the moratorium is currently here. Now, the moratorium is not currently here anymore, which is the reason people were not being evicted for all that time. Now, here's what's very important, and people don't understand this. When it comes to if you own a home, there are a lot of people that are not able to pay their home down, and well, mortgages are due there as well with banks, okay? But they were not able, due to the moratorium, able to evict you or foreclose on your home, which they can do, and they definitely will do in the next 3 months if nothing's done on this. And if people are owing, well, you're going to want to know if there's a program for you, right? Now, on the opposite end, nobody concerns themselves about this because they don't think about businesses. Businesses also had the moratorium end as of January. So businesses are going to have to pay up. That's why you're going to see a lot of businesses fold in the next 3 months. They just cannot pay up. They haven't had enough business because their hours are limited. They only have so many customers. They have all these restrictions, and they just cannot pay the rent because the rent never went down. In some places, it even went up. So at the end of the day, we have a huge, huge problem that I've been saying for the last 3 months. You got to be ahead of it, Governor. You got to be ahead of it, U.S. You got to be ahead of it, So again, why are we going to war when we're not even doing our own financials? Because if this comes out from under us, everybody's going to say, oh boy, I don't know what to do with my life. Okay? Is it a good opportunity for people that have saved their money? Yeah. All right. Are they going to kind of make a lot of money on real estate in the next 3 to 4 years? Yes. Are they going to make a lot of money on commercial real estate? Yes. The big earners are going to. The little earners like you or I, no. We're going to be the ones to suffer. This is why I say some are going to move in with each other. Some are going to say, you know what, can I rent out my room? Do you want to live here with us? Do you want to kind of pull our finances together and make the rent, so that we can all be okay with that? I say be ahead of that, and you'll be ahead of the rest of the next, honestly, 3 years. Okay? This COVID is not going anywhere away. All right? There's too many variants popping up everywhere. Okay? With 1, with 2, with 3, those are the ones that we need to be very concerned with in the next 3 weeks. Okay, we're already seeing a leveling off of people getting sick with COVID, but we're going to see a slight uptick, but deaths are already steady. Okay, 2,200 on average a day. So basically, in a week's time, times that by 5, you got 10,000 deaths a week. That's not good, people. That's not a time to start saying, hey, pay up before you die. Because that's what's coming next, right? So I really do feel that at the end of the day, people really, 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 really need to start addressing this. And you need to speak to your, well, that depends if you have a connection with governors. You need to say, hey, how come we're not paying attention to the home front here? Because at the end of the day, everybody's going to suffer. Businesses are going to suffer. Housing's going to suffer. Everybody else is going to suffer. Is it the majority of America? I would say yes. A good amount of people have not paid down their debt. I'm calling credit debt. I'm calling financial debt. I'm calling, automobile debt. Right? How many of you have debt in all those areas? So there needs to be a way to pay down over the next 3 years, I believe. I think they need to say, look, we can do this over the next 3 years. Here is this. And don't worry about it. It's like a credit line. And because of COVID, we'll figure it out. If they do that, we all win. If they don't do that, then we all lose. So you need to kind of be ahead of it for yourself and do what you need to do. Save the money because you don't know what's happening next. Okay? The cold front is already here in the U.S. That means higher prices with certain foods. With certain foods, having to pay more, you're going to have to make more money. If you look at your numbers for your family, the cost of feeding your family has already kind of gone up at least a minimum of 13 to 14%. All right. Now, has your pay been able to kind of be ahead of that? The answer is typically no. Your pay is kind of the same as it was from 3 years ago, right? Now, if you have a new job and you have a better paying job, I say keep it. Don't quit. And if you have a place kind of raising the rent all of a sudden, I'd say why? Look for lesser. And economize. All right? Live with less for the next year and a half, and you'll be ahead of it, right? You don't need to spend top dollar on everything. You don't need to spend, and then, get everything brand new. You could go with used supplies. You can go with stuff that's kind of just helping you stay alive. Does that make sense? I love the ability to be virtual the way we are. And if you could do more of that, and businesses could do more of that, they'll save money on rent anyway, right? So I think there's a way of businesses to say, you know what? Yeah, we paid a lot of money down on this space, but we could save the money, invest in our employees, put it virtual, and still make a profit if we just think smarter, right? There's a lot of online shopping. There's a lot of online influencers. There's a lot of online people that basically can bring you something from afar, even internationally, and say, hey, look at this, look at that. I've had friends actually do that. They actually have storefronts in Whittier, and they've gone on camera saying, okay, this is the dress I'm wearing. This is the dress that's available. Do you guys want to purchase it? And then they Venmo or they PayPal them some money, and it's quick and fast. They ship it to them. There you go. And everybody's willing to pay for shipping so far, right? So there's ways to think around having to do it the old-fashioned way, because the old-fashioned way is not working for people. Commercial space is just too expensive right now. and you do not have enough people at your stores because everybody's either home trying to stay safe, and or not able to go to your place because they're kind of worried about their own life, or you have limited hours, so therefore less transactions, less business, less pay, less bottom dollar, less that you're going to be able to pay for rent. Does that make sense? That's why you're going to see a lot of closures in the next 3 weeks, okay? Because all these landlords or commercial owners are going to say, all right, pay up. And businesses are going to be folding left, right, and center. And a lot of my favorite places, including restaurants, are already folding. Now, can you be ahead of it? Yes. Do a pop-up shop or get one of those traveling things, right? What do they call them? Those traveling trucks. Do that. Don't go away from it. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just economize. Bring it down to kind of, I get it. People like to sit in and have restaurants. But ask a parking lot guy, hey, can we put our place here? We'll bring the people out. Food trucks have been doing it for a long time. Taco trucks, specialty type trucks have been doing that. Just economize. Bring it back a little. Don't go out of business. Continue making money and do so because people need to eat, right? And people want good food, right? It takes a little bit of ingenuity if you have a restaurant to say, okay, how do we invest in that? Because that is less money than rent at a commercial space. Don't go out of business for it, okay? Just say, okay, fine, we can't pay it, and then, but don't quit. You have a business for a reason. You have suppliers for a reason. You have people that can, be put to work for a reason. You just have to kind of let go of the rest of the staff. Isn't that weird? That's sad to say, but that's the only way to stay ahead of it, right? If you think of certain places like, I'll give you a perfect example. I love this place, King Taco. King Taco is really good food, okay? But they started in a truck, all right? Then they legitimized, got a location, and if you've ever been to a King Taco in LA, there's always people there all the way till the closing, all right? Always. I know because I take people to King Taco and I'm like, check it out, right? And some people are like, I've never been to King Taco. I'm like, isn't it awesome? Get a sope, get chile verde, yum, carne asada all the way, right? So I'm that guy. But at the end of the day, if they were hurting, which they're not because they already own their locations, which is why you want to own a location, not pay rent every single month, then you'll at least be like, okay, I'm ahead of it, right? Yeah, Rosalie, thank you for tuning in. She goes, I got to go to work. She doesn't want to hear your opinion on this. But here's the reality. Businesses need to be ahead of it, and you need to economize, and you need to find a way to create little pop-up shops. If you have let's say, there's so many different businesses you guys have out there. I think we need to revitalize 2 Minute in Your Business and talk about this because we have so many good ideas. We have so many good people that know how to do this. We talk about pop-up shop paradigm, Melissa Gonzalez, who knows this type of thing. And there's a way to economize. And if you have, like, let's say, I know a lot of places that have clothing stores, right? But you don't have a lot of people in your store. There's ways to make it be awesome. And you don't have to pay down a huge lease of like a year to 3 years to 5 years. You don't have to do that anymore. You just say, hey, we want to kind of rent this space from you guys, maybe for a month or two. Can we just pay you from the monies that we earn? But you have to drive traffic to that, and you have to have traffic to you. So are you going to do it online? I would say do things online. Learn the online world. Get to people via video like this. Put it on Facebook, put it on Twitter, put it on YouTube, put it on whatever platform you can. Get to where the people are and start marketing your services online. Get your purchases online. All right, I've been saying this for the last 3 to 4 years. Go online, go online, go online. That's how you save your business or promote your business that you've always wanted to start. Just get with good influencers, good people with have a lot of engagement, a lot of people. Invite them over, have them, get a product for free, and then talk about your stuff, and then maybe pay a commission to them by visiting you and or you giving them stuff on camera, in person, to their followers. Does that make sense? And then give them like a little maybe I don't know, a little code so everybody that purchases, they say, oh, I saw it via celebrity Jesse Sanchez, right? Yeah, or just influencer, I don't know, Stephanie Reed, right? She goes, that's what I do for business. So there's a lot of ways to go about that. You could do it very smart. You could do it very safe. And you can still keep COVID free because you're going virtual, right? So that's where I feel all of us need to start thinking for businesses that we know we may want to start, or we think of people that we need to save, right? Because all of us have a favorite business, a mom and pop shop, or a certain place that we love, and we want them to survive, right? Because the backbone of the economy of the U.S. is the small business, period, end of story. People don't understand that, but it's a small business, not the large, big corporate Walmarts, Targets, Mervyn's, Macy's, that keep business alive. It's all the little guys, all right? And that's why we need to say, whoa, whoa, whoa. In order for people to be employees, well, think about your own jobs. You're either at a small business, which is on average anywhere under 50, maybe they say sometimes 100 max, but 50 and below, right? If you have less than 50 people at your place, you're considered a small business, right? And there are certain things for a small business to get up and running. You just have to have proof of concept, and then you can borrow money up to 70%. There's programs that do that. But if all of the small businesses go away because they have to pay rent on place, but they don't have full hours, then what are they going to do next? I've been upset with Best Buy, for example. Best Buy closes sometimes at 6 o'clock. I'm like, how are you going to make your money back when you have to go limited hours? Because the majority of people I know get off of work around that time, then go buy things up to like 9 o'clock. That's the way it used to be. So you're already limiting yourself, but Best Buy doesn't own their locations. They pay monthly, right? Based off of earnings. So they have to make a certain percentage, pay employees, pay staff, pay all insurances, pay everything, and it's all bundled in. So if they're in the negative with the amount of purchases, well, then there's going to be certain stores closing. That's why certain stores do close. That's why you've got Bed Bath & Beyond says goodbye. You've got certain stores that we used to remember. Pier 1 Imports. I remember visiting them and saying, hey, do you guys want us to, be influencers for you? That was back in the day. I was up in the high desert. And they're like, well, the front employees were like, okay. And then I remember messaging them, and they're like, well, we kind of have a different mindset or a different marketing strategy. I'm like, all right, that's fine. But in certain areas, they're just not doing business anymore because it's a high-end product. And a lot of people don't have that money anymore because they're economizing, because thanks to Target, thanks to Walmart, thanks to other places where you could get little supplies, you're kind of like, I don't need, high-priced dollar stuff. Even though the stuff is awesome, I love Pier 1 Imports. I love to walk in there. But again, you don't want to pay top dollar when you're barely trying to pay the food because of inflation, and more inflation coming because of the cold front hurting all of our lives with fruit and other said supplies, right? And then you got the avian flu killing off poultry and turkey and all that. So that's going to create a problem for shortages of eggs. So the eggs are going to go up by, a certain percentage. And just certain things that we're going to be like, right? I say, if you want to economize, eat oatmeal. You know what I mean? Oatmeal is the best thing since sliced bread. I recently got a box full of apple cinnamon oatmeal, and I love it. But just be ready for things to kind of be like, oh, shoot. Don't stress out. Have a plan. Have a family member either move in with you or you move in with a family member. Never, ever, ever go homeless route. I've already met 3 homeless people this week. And I said, okay, where's your family at? But they never want to talk about the family because usually they don't get along with their family. I'm like, this is not the time to be out on the streets. Okay, I've seen people live out of their cars. I've seen people be okay with living out of their cars. But I say, what happens when, just normal stuff. You got to go to the restroom. You got to get, do you get a gym membership? What do you do next, right? So be aware of it and be aware of your friends. And if they go missing, check in on them and then just say, hey, all right. I already know a few homeless people that I have my number because I gave it to them because I said, look, if you need anything, I trust them enough to say, hey, if you need anything. And then one of them I gave an opportunity to because I'm trying to find a vehicle that had a hit and run. But they're paying $20,000 cash if I could find this vehicle that hit a cyclist. So this homeless guy kind of came up to me like, who are you? What are you doing? He thought I was going to lock them up. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm just looking for a vehicle. If you find this vehicle, I'll pay, some reward money because I'm trying to find this vehicle. Just give me a call, message me, right? So if you could help out in that way, great. And there's a lot of crimes happening. Guys, be careful on the streets because people are driving crazy out there. And if you get hit by a hit and run guy or lady, you're going to be like, what the heck? Right? So there you go. Let's see. Stephanie Reed says, yeah, my website, stephanieislive.com, to help all businesses grow with video and photography for social media platforms. Awesome. Rosie says let's see. I think somebody says, I'm having to make a huge decision moving back with my dad. Let's see. Whose is that saying that? I didn't see that comment. All right. Oh, okay, you're saying that. Moving back with my dad, I would be debt-free in 3 months, and I want to open a business, a fancy cigar shop in Hollister. No inventory that's going to spoil. Maybe a small Java corner in there, or go back to massaging and definitely get my real estate license. Ooh, massage is good. Massage is great. Massage is wonderful. You just have to stay safe. All right, so get your COVID shots and you'll be fine. And if you do it, I'm not going to lie. I went to a massage place last night because I'm like, I really need a good, like, nice, relaxing massage. And I found a pretty good place. But if you have that already, I would say try doing that and then just be safe with it. Does that make sense? Real estate is good. You just need to be aware it takes usually a good 6 months of ramp-up time, right? Now, if you team up with somebody, that's better. You just got to know who you're teaming up with and then trust the person enough to team up with them. Then you'll be fine, right? Because I know a lot of real estate friends as well. Cigars are good, but again, you still have to invest in the shop, and the shop is the one that's probably going to require a lot of money. So I say start with something that you have a daily income with. That's why massages are great, because you can set your own schedule, you can have your own clients, and you can go all ladies, you can go some men, you can prove who you're going to see, because then there's those kinds of people, right? And if you want to do it outside, you can create a really nice, comfortable way to do it and do it safe. Just get a little tent, invest in like a little tent, like, you know, one of those canopy ones, and then put that anywhere really. As long as you have your license, you're good to go. And then you can do that for, like, honestly, I would start off at least 3 weeks minimum, and then get your clients there, put something kind of warm in the area, right? And then, so I say drape around it, and then maybe like a heat lamp, you know, or something. Invest in that. You can buy those at Costco for pretty cheap. And then just get your table out like that, and then do your massages like that. Some people actually really like that. And because it's outdoors, it's better than being on the inside, and then you'll be safer for it because you're on the outdoors. And I've seen some people actually get their massages like that. I have a good friend, her name is Jeanette, and she did that. She posted it on her Instagram. I'm like, where did you do that? And I messaged her, I think, a year ago, and I haven't, you know, made do on that massage place, but it was on the outside, and I think they did in the parking lot, to be honest. But they kind of made it so that it was like, you know, one of those like those pop-up tents, and then they just kind of draped the outside. I think the sides of it, but I think it was during the summer, so I don't think they put like a heat lamp in there. But I would say do that, and then you'll be fine. And then he said, but he has a semi-small house compared to what I have. Try not to be materialistic. Here's what I say: if it's with family, good. If it's with others. If it's with somebody you do not know, yikes, okay? Family's always good. Just be safe with it. And then, you know, you can always, like, convert maybe the back area to maybe a massage area, and then you bring only the very trusted people that you know. Does that make sense? And then start with your friends. And if you start with your friends, shoot, I'll sign up for that. I'll pay you, because I'm looking for a good massage therapist. All right, people. So there you go. Let's see. Rosalie says, I used to make $5,000 a month profit going back to Hollister. I would have all my old clients. Yeah, so I would say the cigar business is good. It just takes time to ramp up. On average, cigar places take anywhere from, honestly, depending on investment, 8 to 12 months, right? So you have to be ready to be in the negative before you get to the positive. So usually most people get a loan out. But I say this: do your massage, do that, and I think you'll be ahead of it, okay? Because I think the amount of clients that you probably have access to, you can get a referral you could get a referral business by doing this. Say to each of your clients that you already have, let's think of like 8 of your clients, right? And this is good for every business, right? Think of 8 of your clients, okay? Write them down. That's number 1. Once you do that, say to each one of those, if you want a free massage, refer to me 2 customers. Now, the good news is the majority of people have like a little social media presence, right? It doesn't matter who they are. But you tell them, just have them say your name. I'll note it down on this little piece of paper, and I'll give you a massage for free. You do that, you'll build up your business quicker and faster, but you tell that to every single person. You never forget. You tell that to every single person, because referrals are everything. Because a person that knows somebody is better than a fresh referral off of like an ad or, spreading the name and not give anything in return. Now, you do that for 3 months straight, you'll be ahead of it. You'll probably have like 58 customers just by doing that repetitively. So start with your 8. Say we have a referral. We give you a free massage. Don't go half or 30% off. Don't do that, because it's just too much. You say, I'll give you a free massage, an hour. Don't minimize it to 30. Nobody likes a 30-minute. Just trust me on this. Keep it an hour, and the hour will help you out, because now you have certain people that will want a free massage, but they refer. So they become your best customers, because they're always saying, oh, God, I love the massage. You got to go to my person. Because sometimes people ask, like me. I asked this on social media. I said, does anybody know a good massage person? Because there are some places you got to be like, right? And I've gone to inexpensive places, right, like foot massage places. But foot massage places, honestly, you don't know who you're going to get, because they switch them out like weekly practically, right? So you don't know if you're going to get a consistent massage every single time. Some people are just good at massage. Others, you're like, what are you doing, right? Or they don't know your body. And some consistently know your body, right? So if you charge, honestly, $60 a minute per dollar, and you have no overhead like a business like that, you're already good, right? And then if they give you a tip, great. If they don't, big deal. You're already basically $60 for an hour, okay? That's more than most people make hourly. Average person right now in the U.S. makes about... I want to say, with high income, I want to say anywhere from $20 to $28. That's if you're doing pretty good for yourself, right? $20 to $28. So if you make $60 and you have 3 clients, you're already ahead. You just do that daily, you're good. You get it? Never offer free from the beginning, ever. Get them to like it, then say, by the way, if you want a free massage, since they've already seen it, but they pay it down, so they value you. Don't give free massage from the beginning. That's how you lose money. But after you give them one and then they pay for it, you say, if you want a free massage, refer 2 people. Don't go with 3, because 3 is too much. Go with 2 people. Because then when they come back, you go, oh, you qualify for a free massage. They go, I do? But you surprise them at that moment. Now, if they don't come in 3 weeks later, then you call them. So you always take their number down. And then you say, hey, by the way, you got a free massage because you referred to your clients. This is Susan and this is Jolie. Did you refer them? Yeah, I know Susan. I know Jolie. Awesome. You can come in and get a free massage. All right. And then you go, what day would you like to sign up for? Because I'm kind of booked. And they go, oh, all right, Friday. All right, like afternoon, what? Yeah, like 3. Okay, done. Right? And then you mark them in, put them in there. If they miss it, too bad, so sad. Your time is precious, but you don't charge them for it. You just say, all right, and then you let it go. But you do call them at the end, and you go, by the way, did you miss your appointment? They go, oh, I'm so sorry. I have like 3 things I'm trying to do. I can't pay my mortgage, right? And this and this and that. So they're going to appreciate a free massage, right? Word of mouth. Back to social media. Everybody has a social media account. All they need to say is, I love my massage by you know who. And then there you go. All right. So there's a way to vet people, but don't make it complicated. Charge either, if you're going to do 30 minutes, which I don't recommend, do $30 for 30 minutes, $60 for 60 minutes. And if they want to go the rest of the stuff the way, offer like a good deal that makes sense for you. Because honestly, massage therapists really, really hate a lot of work on the hands. There's rest days that you have to take. And I only know this because I actually used to interview massage people that would massage you. I go, how do you do this? Because I always thought, should I be a masseuse? Because I was always really good with my hands. And I always thought about that. And I thought, maybe I'm not doing the right thing because I could make quick cash that way. But there you go. Rosalie, let's see. So you said, yeah, okay, good. Says, I used to have a gal fly from New York once a month just for your massages? Yeah, so that you understand good massages. Not everybody does that good of a massage. I would say call her up, see if she needs a job, and team up with her. Try it. Just say, hey, by the way, I was thinking. All right? Because if she does really good massages, guarantee you, I will sign up for that right now. Genius says, we did a pop-up for a friend at the salon. Old mama and papa raised $1,500 on a Friday, Saturday. I'm having fun sometimes on the weekend. Business associates and friends are saying, girl, where have you been? For a friend at the salon. Okay. Yeah, you can make a lot of money with salons. I don't recommend teaming up with a salon if you're a massage therapist, but I do say to the salon people, hey, come in, try my massage. I'll give you a discount. Because salon people know a lot of people. And if they like you, then you'll be good at it. And you just offer them, honestly, anywhere from 15 to 20%. Do that. All right. So if you're 60, let's see, 20% of that is $12 off. So they get it for like $48, right? Does that make sense? Keep it simple like that, you know? And then they'll give you a tip because they appreciate you, because salon people always tip because they do appreciate tips. So you're probably going to come out ahead, probably like $58. You know what I mean? They'll give you like a $10 tip because of it. So, yeah, you're ahead of it. So if you want to go to salon people, I would do that, teaming up with what Algenia is saying. But Algenia, what I would say for a salon is team up with a massage therapist, but do this 100%. Make sure they get their just amount. Put them on the outside, maybe in the back. Put a little pop-up tent. Have them come on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, because the rest of the time it just doesn't make sense. And then you could kind of team up with them. Don't charge them commission, because it's an added value, kind of like a spa salon. You know what I mean? And some people really enjoy that. And then if you have them maybe do a head massage only, then they just charge like $5 to $10 more on that. And then you could have them come in maybe, or have the person go out, and then they do a little like head massage, either before the haircut or after. And then you say, look, this is really good for your scalp. And not only will it massage you for your, or not only will it relax you for your hair treatment or whatever, it will actually loosen what's in there so that your scalp grows more hair. Because it actually does work. It really does. You just keep very like, yeah. All right, so you do that and you'll be ahead of it as well. But yeah, like you said, I mean, you could get a lot of money that way. Let's see. And then, Rosie says, I'm the best, especially as a polarity. I do not know what that is, but I believe you 100%. I'll totally sign up for your massage therapy. Algenia says, I did one pop-up at a dentist's office, sold nothing but toothpaste and toothbrush, profit $500, 2 hours on a Friday. Their rent. Word of mouth. Flyers works awesome. Yeah, flyers are good. Word of mouth is great. Social media is the best thing since sliced bread. And when you say, look, I'm going to be here at this time, from this time to this time, then you're ahead of it. I don't know about just selling toothpaste and toothbrush. I would probably put in, become a distributor of like Oral-B products. You do that, you'll be ahead of it. It says pop-up for business is so much fun, marketing, and you meet so many people. That is 100% true. But always create a referral program with whatever business you are, especially if you're starting up. Create a referral program in your head. Make it very simple. Don't make it complicated. Put people's names down, put their phone number down, and put their emails down. Do those 3 things with every single customer. Do it religiously. Do not forget. Then you amplify for the next probably 8 years, because you'll always control your income, because you'll always grow. And then there'll be a point where you go, I just don't have room for you. But then you bring in another said person. You say, hey, do you want to team up? I've got some business to give you. And she goes, yeah. And then you say, okay, cool. And then you just team up and you become an added value person. And then if she can't do certain clients, then you're the person to her. Keep it as a 2-team. Don't grow more than that. And then you'll figure out if, when you want, down the line, because I guarantee business space is going to probably go down the next year and a half, when business owners or business space owners or commercial owners are going to say, where's my money? Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen. You're going to have so much empty space, then nobody's making money, and nobody really owns it 100%. They pay a mortgage on it as well. Does that make sense? Unless you own it free and clear. But then I would say to those commercial owners, figure out a good business to pay yourself. Fill those locations up, because you need to put something in them. Because when you go down a street and you count how many businesses are empty, it says for lease. Yeah, that's why cities are going to go downhill. That's why we got to be ahead of it. All right, so these type of discussions are good. Keep it going, keep it moving, keep positive, keep strengthening your community, and keep strengthening your own mind. All right. Figure out what you can to continue making good business for yourself. All right, people. Bye-bye.